If you haven't seen The Big Lebowski yet, you need to get your life together. Go roll yourself a J, fix yourself a Caucasian, watch the movie, and then come back and see 42 little reasons and one big reason why I love The Big Lebowski. This won't make much sense unless you've seen it, and there are plenty of spoilers ahead. Alright, let's get into it. I like how the movie evokes a sense of timelessness by showing us the California desert untouched by man, before the camera rolls over the edge of the cliff and we can see Los Angeles in the early 90s. The cowboy narrator does a great job of reinforcing that sense of timelessness.
Sometimes there's a man. He's the man for his time and place.
The movie also makes great use of props, such as the dude's only form of ID, his Value Club card, and his checkbook, necessary for his 69-cent expenses for his White Russians. I love how the movie keeps you guessing about what genre it is, and how it turns out the movie is secretly a noir in disguise, though the detective is anything but hard-boiled. And I couldn't ask for a better femme fatale than Bunny.
I'll suck your cock for $1,000.
It's so cool to see such a classic genre get reimagined with characters from another time who have such different values that the entire story gets turned on its head. And I like how the dude, despite his ineptitude, is able to figure out the majority of the mystery pretty quickly.
She probably kidnapped herself.
Though you know the general gist early on, there are enough twists and turns that the movie begs to be watched again. Like when the dude lies to the cops about what's in the briefcase. On the second watch, you'll know that he's telling the truth. He just doesn't know it yet.
In the briefcase?
Just papers, my papers, business papers.
And what do you do, sir?
I'm unemployed.
I love how much repetition this movie uses. So many of the characters say the same lines over and over again, though under different circumstances.
Where's the money, Lebowski?
Where's the fucking money, Lebowski?
I also love how this repetition doesn't have to be for entire lines. Sometimes it's just phrases that the characters pick up from one another.
She has been banging Jackie Treehorn, to use the parlance of our times.
A young trophy wife in the parlance of our times, you know.
And speaking of great phrases from Maude, I love Zesty Enterprise. That'd make a great band name.
Do you like sex? Coitus.
I was talking about my rug.
You're not interested in sex?
You mean coitus?
It's a male myth about feminists that we hate sex. It can be a natural, zesty enterprise.
I love how every character in the story has their own voice. It runs the gamut from Maude, who is so articulate,
This compulsive fornicator is taking my father for the proverbial ride,
to the dude who is barely coherent in his stammering stream of consciousness manner of speech.
I'm sorry if your stepmother is a nympho, but, I don't see what this has to do with, you have any Kahlua?
Even Brandt, a relatively small character and the second most well-spoken after Maude, has a nervous energy to his speech, making it uniquely his own and funny in its own way.
They're the little Lebowski urban achievers, inner-city children of promise, but without the necessary means for a higher education.
It's so great how every character is oozing with personality, even if they only show up in one scene. Take, for instance, this cop who tells the dude that they aren't going to find who stole his car.
Are you gonna find these guys? You got any promising leads?
Leads? Sure. I'll just check with the boys down at the crime lab. Leads.
And even with all the great dialogue, the movie still knows how to do funny characterization without a word at all. Just look at the introduction to the Jesus. My favorite gag in the movie doesn't have any words at all. While the dude is drinking, driving, and smoking, he tries to flick the roach out of the car, but it lands back in his lap. And trying to douse it with his beer causes him to crash. And I love how the movie uses so many cuss words.
You have to use so many cuss words.
The fuck you talking about?
The best line in the movie would be impossible without them.
You see what happens, Larry? You see what happens? Do you see what happens, Larry, when you fuck a stranger in the ass?
Speaking of great lines, this movie is so quotable. Even outside of their context, so many of these lines are the perfect response to real-world situations. Let's count a bunch of them off.
I like your style, dude.
That's just like, your opinion, man. Bummer.
Huh?
This is a bummer, man. That's a bummer.
What in God's holy name are you blathering about?
You're entering a world of pain. Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong.
Am I wrong?
You're not wrong, Walter. You're just an asshole.
Okay, then.
Hey, careful, man. There's a beverage here, huh?
I love how Walter is constantly belligerent to Donnie without even thinking about it, yet they remain great friends.
Forget it, Donnie. You're out of your element. Shut the fuck up, Donnie.
We'll be near the In-N-Out Burger.
Shut the fuck up.
They posted the next round for the tournament.
Donnie, shut the fuck up. When do we play?
And I love how Donnie cluelessly asks the dumbest questions.
I don't need your fucking sympathy, man. I need my fucking Johnson.
What do you need that for, dude?
And on that note, the trio of Germans who are the main antagonists are so ludicrous. It's so funny to think that these dumbasses are the ones who are behind the quote-unquote kidnapping plot.
Willie doesn't care about anything. He's a nihilist.
Oh, that must be exhausting.
Fucking Nazis.
They were Nazis, dude?
Oh, come on, Donnie. They were threatening castration.
Uh-huh.
Are we gonna split hairs here?
And I love how they give the movie a proper climax when Walter has to beat all three of them senseless, because they don't realize that you can't hold someone for ransom if you haven't kidnapped them.
Without a hostage, there is no ransom. That's what ransom is. Those are the fucking rules.
But the movie even finds a way how to make capable antagonists funny, such as this cop who's working for Jackie Treehorn.
I don't like your jerk-off name. I don't like your jerk-off face. And I don't like you, jerk-off. Do I make myself clear?
I'm sorry, I wasn't listening.
And I'll count this as two little things that I love about The Big Lebowski, because both times that the dude gets knocked out, he has a dream sequence with really innovative visuals that are some of the most memorable parts of the movie. And it feels weird calling this one little thing, but I gotta say it, the soundtrack of this movie is incredible. And of course, the carefree mood of this movie is just so appealing. In spite of all the crazy stuff that's going on, the dude still just wants to chill out and have a good time, so we can too. And when the dude does lose his cool, it's still really funny, like when he gives the Big Lebowski this rare insult.
You human paraquat! You figured, oh, here's a loser, you know, a deadbeat, somebody the square community won't give a shit about.
Well, aren't you?
Well, yeah.
And his failures are really funny too, like when he tries to barricade his door, but he does it in the wrong way, and then he forgets about it, so the only person who's inconvenienced is himself. Another one-scene character that I love is Maud Lebowski's friend Knox Harrington, and the dude's reaction to him is priceless.
What the fuck is with this guy? Who is he?
And I love it when Maud shows the porn of Ule and Bunny to the dude.
Oh, I know that guy. Yeah, he's a nihilist.
I'm not really sure what's really wrong with the people.
That's why they sent me. I am an expert.
Story is ludicrous.
And I love thinking about how much it would aggravate Maud's dad knowing that she had hooked up with the dude.
Jeffrey,
Maud?
love me.
Especially considering the long-term consequences.
Was that yoga?
It increases the chances of conception.
Which sets up this hilarious way for the dude to absurdly downplay their relationship.
Hey, I'm not messing with your special lady.
She's not my special lady. She's my fucking lady friend. I'm just helping her conceive, man.
And although there are plenty of other little things that I love about the movie, I'll wrap it up here with the awesome and appropriate farewell that the narrator gives the audience.
I guess that's the way the whole darned human comedy keeps perpetuating itself across the sands of time until we... Oh, look at me. I'm rambling again.
The one big thing I love about The Big Lebowski is the friendship between the dude and Walter. I love a good double act, and this has my favorite execution, where each character gets to be the straight man and the funny man depending on the situation, since they're each eccentric in the way that the other is grounded. Walter is too angry, and the dude is too passive.
Just take it easy, man.
I'm perfectly calm, dude.
Yeah, waving the fucking gun around?
Calmer than you are.
You just take it easy.
Calmer than you are.
There's something really heartwarming about how these two guys who can barely stand each other manage to stick together. At any moment, they could prove to be too much for each other, but they always eventually meet each other in the middle.
Please keep your voices down.
Oh, please, dear. I got buddies who died so that you and I can enjoy this family restaurant.
All right, I'm out of here.
Hey, dude, I'm staying, finishing my coffee.
Despite all the various ins and outs, all the interested parties in this story, this whole plot doesn't happen without their friendship. If it wasn't for Walter's need for justice, the dude would probably ignore the inciting incident.
Walter, what is the point? Look, we all know who is at fault here. I can't go give him a bill. So what the fuck are you talking about?
I'm talking about drawing a line in the sand, dude.
So the dude wouldn't be tasked with paying Bunny's ransom, and the greed and guilt that came from the plot to take a bit for himself would never happen.
Get her back, We keep the back sheet.
You told me how we're gonna get her back. Where is she?
That's the simple part. I grab one of them, beat it out of him.
Because that's fucking ingenious.
The beauty of this is its simplicity.
This is never more clear than in the hilarious scene where Walter throws his dirty undies out the window instead of the supposed money, leaving the dude alone while he goes to attack the Germans with his secret weapon.
Lucy!
You didn't think I was rolling out of your naked, did you?
Walter,
This
please!
ain't, dude. This is it. Let's take that hill.
Well, I guess that about wraps her up. So remember, be like the dude, and no matter what comes your way, abide.